Okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, what is up? Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. Hope you're all doing well. Chris Phillips here, your host of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. Good morning. Appreciate you all tuning in. I see Justin, Luke, RJ, GA, Colton, Noah Johns, Ethan, Stephen Borrell Jr. Appreciate you all tuning in. Also, those in the Big Cock Club Discord. Head over to the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel, make sure your questions are answered there. We are rocking. We are live here on this beautiful Wednesday in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. As you obviously can see, we are not in studio for the second consecutive day in a row. We'll be this way today, guys, of course, in the 10 to 12 time slot. I know it's different. Thank you all so much for being flexible with your time and joining us today. Of course, no TDC tomorrow. However, the spring tour continues as we are from Summerville, South Carolina, just outside of Charleston. So can't wait to hang out with a bunch of great low country Gamecocks, if you will. We'll be selling merchandise, taking your questions, and having us one hell of a time at Carolina Ale House, Summerville. TDC will be back to normal on Friday in studio, airing noon to 2. And then, of course, Saturday is the Garnet and Black spring game, and we will host a live stream watch-along for all of that. Again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in again, being flexible. Of course, as always, TDC is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Go down the Prize Picks app, go to prizepicks.com. And when you do, use the promo code TSUS to receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Guys, you can play anything and everything, college sports, pro sports, you name it. They've got it over at Prize Picks. So many fans and listeners of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show have made tons of money with their friends at Prize Picks, and you should as well. So again, go download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com. And when you do, use the promo code TSUS to receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. DGD, what's going on, my friend? Appreciate you all tuning in. Just having ourselves a Wednesday. It's funny. I'm almost kind of getting used to these morning start times for TDC. No, I like noon to 2 too much. I normally like my mornings too much, sitting down, drinking some coffee, having a good time, relaxing, if you will. Noon to 2 works really well for me. It's a blessing that we're able to be flexible and we're able to move the time and do different things. But I do like noon to 2 on a consistent basis, so I don't see that changing up anytime soon. I see Panic Ritter is panicking here on a Wednesday morning after the Gamecocks fall to Clem Sucks in softball. Yeah, DGD, it's going to be a lot of fun. Spring games galore. You know, I'm really excited. I've been talking about the live stream watch along and doing more stuff from the studio, if you will, being locked in on my phone, being locked in on TV content, all that good stuff. I'm excited to catch other games. You know, I'm really excited, DGD, to watch other games. I have not done that in the past, believe it or not, because you know, in the past, and especially I think about last season when we were doing the TSUS tailgates, which really what the TSUS tailgate turned into, right? Because 2021, we were partying, we were going crazy. We had the GoPro out there having a blast. Last year, it really turned into more so like the TSUS tailgate was more like the TSUS pop-up shop. Like that's literally what it was. We were hosting a pop-up shop and I was selling merch throughout the entire day, which, I mean, again, was a blast. I had a lot of fun doing it, but that's really what it turned into. So I'm excited, though, to be locked in, be able to watch all the games. I was not able to do that at the TSUS tailgate last year. I was so locked in, selling the merchandise, talking with people. Like, I didn't watch any other football, like none. I only saw the Gamecocks play. So, DGD, to your point, man, I mean, no doubt you're somebody that creates content. You understand this. You know where I'm coming from. It is absolutely beneficial as a content creator to have the ability to sit down, watch all the games. You can have your phone in front of you, be locked in, be on good Wi-Fi. That's another one. So really excited, again, for our live stream watch along on Saturday. And again, guys, what this really is teasing is we're going to be doing these for every single football game. I mean, that's going to be the plan. I've decided it. I've set my mind on it. I don't need to delay anymore. We will be doing that during the 2023 football season. Now, what that means in regards for merchandise, what it means for the tailgate specifically, I mean, obviously it means there will not be a TSUS tailgate again, I do not believe. I may have someone, my good friend Dave Garrick, who I think will be posting up in Seawells. He might operate the pop-up shop, if you will, sell merchandise for me. But in regards to me being on site in Columbia throwing a tailgate, I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. I don't think that's going to be the move. And again, I think there's a lot more value, I should say, more than anything, being back in the studio, chopping up content, doing the live stream watch-alongs, tuning into the other games, etc. So, again, guys, with that being said, though, 843-790-3377. I do want to hear from you. Gamecocks get the dub last night over USC Upstate, and we sit now just a couple of days away from the Garnet and Black spring game. I see Hunter Kelly. What's up, man? Matthew Calvert. Yes, coffee out of the mason jar. By the way, of course, I mentioned we are in Hilton Head, beautiful Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. I want to shout out Derek over at the Salty Dog Cafe. You know, it's funny when you're down here, you know, we're obviously in South Carolina, and I grew up coming here, all that good stuff, but it's like you almost kind of forget for a moment you're in South Carolina because there's people from everywhere, right? I mean, you guys have been to Hilton Head. There's people from Ohio, Colorado, you know, all over the Southeast, what have you. It's not just like you're in Columbia or you're in Greenville. So you almost kind of forget, like, where you are, and it sort of took me by somewhat a surprise. I mean, I'm used to it to a degree, but it was really cool that you know, we walked up to Salty Dog just trying to get a coffee and kind of walk around and check things out, if you will. And Derek stopped me, approached me, if you will, and was like, hey, huge fan of the show. Listen, I was like, oh, God, yeah. So wanted to shout out Derek, Salty Dog Cafe. The manager there, I believe, if I read his name tag correctly, does an incredible job and hooked me up with a nice coffee. So I appreciate Derek coming through in the clutch and appreciate Derek, the love and support. And great to feel the love down here on the island as well, man. It's absolutely incredible. And I love this place. I love this place. And that was cool. Did not eat at Salty Dog Cafe. Have not eaten there in quite a while, but a great place. Definitely check it out. No free ads, I say, but no, Salty Dog Cafe doesn't need my help. they are very well known for sure. Let's see. Matthew Calvert, going to be a beautiful day firing up the grill. You mean today, Matthew, or on Saturday? Today or on Saturday? Oh, he says bring on Vandy. Okay, yes. I'm assuming you're talking about on Saturday. It's definitely going to be a fun weekend. I'm actually joining Billy Derrick with the Door Report tonight at 9:30. I'm going to see about getting that audio on our podcast, but I'm joining him tonight at 9:30 to talk about everything South Carolina Vanderbilt this weekend. Billy Derrick, they do a great job with the Door Report. It's crazy to think there are folks out there that is passionate about Vanderbilt sports as we are about Gamecock sports, but believe it or not, that is a real thing. So excited to go straight to the source and talk with Billy Derrick about it all. 843-790-3377. Guys, like I mentioned here on this Wednesday, appreciate you all being flexible. My apologies, by the way, with, you know, I thought that this, and certainly the setting is incredible, the background, but the lighting is giving us issues. The glare in the background, obviously. So I do apologize. Appreciate you guys not judging me too hard. Apologies. Appreciate you guys not judging me too hard. We got to get a new setup, or not a new setup, but a new camera. A new camera, I think. I think there's better cameras out there we can upgrade to. But yeah, just figured why not. This is the best spot to do it in the Airbnb. Just figured why not. But I know the lighting is not fantastic behind us. So anyways, guys, what do you got in your mind? Shane Beamer speaking yesterday. Sounds like everything went pretty well. Went pretty well in regards to the scrimmage. It sounds like they're really excited for the freshman class. Shane Beamer going as far as saying they did not miss on a single player in regards to freshmen. Everybody's going to contribute. Everybody's going to do well. So, you know, it's the spring. It is what it is. You take it with a grain of salt, but I think that's great to hear. And, you know, certainly I think the Gamecocks have done well in recruiting. And, you know, you've been able to develop so many sort of diamond in the rough guys, 2-3-star guys. Now, if you can take those 4s and those 5s and really get the most out of them, I think now you're really cooking, right, for sure. Justin Langford, Petrie's an awesome player for us. I'm thankful to see that young man on our ball club. Yeah, Justin, he's fantastic. I mean, Petrie is elite. He's elite for sure. Yeah, it's not a light limb. There's a building behind us that I think that sun is directly hitting. I guess I could have thought about that. Maybe I can twist this thing around during the break or something, but I know the glare is brutal behind us. We do just have this like yellow wall right here I could go with. I could just go with the yellow wall as the background. I really wanted like the palmetto trees and stuff like that, but yeah, that sun is directly reflecting off that wall back there. So let's see. Yeah, Justin Langford, that's a great point. Justin Langford, that's a great point. What can Cassis do against his former team? And I don't know, by the way, guys, if you can hear that leaf blower in the background, but my God, talk about bad timing. You guys let me know if you can hear that. Talk about some bad timing, right? We got like a leaf blower going on in the background here. Yeah, Travis, I mean, it's beautiful, dude. I think the high today is like 78. We're going out to the golf tournament today, hence why I'm rocking. We got the Players Championship polo on. Definitely be loading up on some Harbor Town gear, if you will. But yeah, no, excited to get out there. I mean, it's beautiful down here today. It's absolutely beautiful. So, Travian, appreciate you tuning in, my friend. Thank you so much again for the continued love and support. Y'all let me know. Can y'all hear that leaf blower? You have to. You have to be able to hear it. Either that or it's so far away, maybe you can't. But I would not be shocked if the mic wasn't picking up on it. I saw Luke RJ comment earlier. Is Luke RJ in here? Luke RJ, I know you're excited for the spring game, my friend. I know you're excited for the spring game. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, GX is barely good. Thank God, because I can hear it pretty clearly. I know you're excited, Luke RJ, for the spring game. I know I am as well. Going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. What will the attendance be? Right? What will the attendance be? I know that was something that was highly debated last year. I don't think anybody believes there were 20,000 people in there. Not that spring game attendance is, a huge deal. But I think what it is, guys, is when the rival's keeping track of something and you're keeping track of something, there is a competition inevitably. So it is a big deal. It becomes a big deal. And, the rival said they had like 38,000, 39,000, which they didn't. And Steve Fink, for whatever reason, said the Gamecocks had like 20,000. They didn't. We didn't. We had more. We had far more. So anyways, maybe it's not a big deal. Will they even keep attendance? Heck, I don't know. But I'll be interested to see what the attendance does look like. I think it'll be packed. I mean, I really do. I think it'll be packed based off of, the season you had last year, the hype, the new players. I would expect it to be a pretty good crowd. So, excuse me, guys. Excuse me. DGD says, what's your main question heading into your spring game? Great question, DGD. What is the main question? We definitely have questions, DGD. Definitely have questions, but what is the main question? What is the number one? That's a great question, though, that you present. Like, what is the number one question that I have? I mean, I just keep going back to running back. And I what has really evolved into the top storyline of spring is Dakereon Joyner's role at the running back position. So, I'm really excited to see how he looks back there. I'm excited to see just what the running back room as a whole looks like. I mean, again, DGD, it's a bit of a loaded question to a degree because it's like, can you really, do you think you're going to go through a spring game and learn something for sure? Like, are you going to be able to take away a conclusion? Probably not. But I think getting Dakereon Joyner, getting a look at him back there in the backfield, I think that's probably the thing I'm most intrigued for. I really do, because I think defensively, I don't think you're going to learn a whole lot. It's the offense knows what the defense is doing and vice versa. I don't think you're going to learn a lot about the play calling or about Dowell Loggins, but I think you can definitely look at individual players. I think you can look at individual players and just kind of see how they're moving out there. Do they do some things that we haven't seen before? So Dakereon Joyner and him in the backfield, embracing a role. I don't even know what the role is, but embracing a role and becoming a bigger part of the Gamecocks offense. Like, what does that look like? Do we see him featured more? It's going to be a real shame if we're sitting here talking about this and like he barely even played or doesn't play at all. I mean, I understand there's a lot of young guys that need to see the field versus a guy like Dak Joyner who's been here for forever. I get that, but that's kind of evolved into, I think, the biggest storyline of the spring. I thought Saturday Down South, we talked about this a lot last year, guys. It's funny, it sounded like a broken record when I read it this morning. But Saturday Down South, they do a really good job. Talked about the top trends that you didn't know about in the SEC. And I guess if you're not a Gamecock, obviously, if you're not a Gamecock, you don't know a whole lot about it. But we mentioned this repeatedly last preseason about the quarterback position and something that Spencer Rattler is trying to do. He's trying to become the Gamecocks' first quarterback to be drafted since Todd Ellis. It has not happened since 1990. April of 1990 is when the last Gamecocks quarterback was selected in the NFL draft. So he's trying to do something that has not been done in quite some time. Here's a crazy one since DGD is in here commenting. Georgia has not had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2002. And I think he was the only one ever, which just doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right. So DGD says, I'm curious about the new OC and what the offensive personnel groupings and scheme looks like, even if it's somewhat vanilla. I mean, again, DGD, that's the thing. I'm just, how much can you really draw from the spring game, like play calling wise? I just don't think any. You know, I don't think any. Granted, with that being said, we saw a very conservative, like swing pass sat was born in the spring game last year. Really, it was born in 2021. But I don't think it would be fair to come out of the spring game and be one way or the other. Like the spring game solidified that I think Dowell Loggins is the best fit and Shane Beamer hit a home run. I also don't think it'd be fair to say that Dowell Loggins is trash and he's a bozo and he has no clue what he's doing because of the spring game. Like, I don't know what they're going to call. I don't know what their plan is, if they're going to try to stretch it out, if they're going to keep things conservative. But it is a glorified scrimmage. Again, the offense knows what the defense is doing. The defense knows what the offense is doing. I just don't see any way you can come out of that and say, oh, well, the spring game is giving me more confidence in the Dowell Loggins hiring. We're not going to know until toe meets leather this fall. We're not going to know until you go through this season. We're not going to know anything about that hiring. Was it a good hire? Was it a bad hire? Was it an indifferent hire? We're just not going to know until the season kicks off. We're not going to know. Spring game's not going to tell us anything. Maybe we'll see some glimpses of some wrinkles, but just realistically, guys, you're not going to be able to get a really, really good grasp on what Carolina's got with Dowell Loggins, the OC, until we get into the season. So Coleman Hall says, no Dowell slander tolerated. Cheers, man. I hear you. DGD says, no doubt you can see traits on display. Timing in the passing game, observe different combinations on the lines of scrimmage, et cetera. Yeah, I mean, for sure. For sure. I mean, that's the biggest thing, DGD. It gives you a chance to see a bunch of different guys. And I know you guys, though. I know you guys have got a big storyline question, if you will. The quarterback position, which that will be the question for us, DGD, going into next year. The quarterback position with, what is it, Carson Beck, Gunnar Stockton, and who is the other guy? My God, I'm drawing a blank. Why am I drawing a blank? DGD will fill me in. Anyways, the battle at the quarterback position, there's three guys. I don't think Gunnar Stockton's in the battle from what we've heard. Brock Vandagriff, that's it. Which I think they're saying Carson Beck is the leader, correct, in the clubhouse? And it sounds like it's a two-headed race between Carson and Brock. So, which with Georgia, does it matter? I mean, does it matter who's playing quarterback? They're going to be elite. They're going to be fantastic. They got plenty of talent around them, 5-star on 5-star on 5-star. Yeah, they're going to be great. They're going to be great. So we got the pups outside once again, guys. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you all so much for the continued love and support. Appreciate you guys being flexible this week. I know things are a little bit different with the setup and with the time and all that, but DGD says it matters if they make boneheaded plays and mistakes. No, I mean, for sure. I mean, I'm not going to say it means zero, but I try my best not to be the guy that draws hard conclusions from a spring game. I just try not to be that guy. Here we go. Wow. Looks like, let's see. I saw. Okay. I saw this headline and I was like, there's no way this is the men's team. We would not get this type of attention. The women's team will take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish Monday, November the 6th, 2023 in Paris. How about that, in Paris? Huh. Wow. Game ticket packages and venue will be confirmed at a later date this spring, along with the television partner. Okay. How about it? That'll be really cool. That'll be really, really cool. So, a year ago today, WinBet released SEC East win totals for the college football season. I'm just wondering if that's going to be happening today. I'm very, very anxious to see. You guys might, I don't know, you guys might hear stuff going on behind me. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see if that comes out today. See if that comes out today. Coleman Hall says, I heard Dowell hit an ace on 17 at Sawgrass. No way. No way, dude. You got to be making that up. You got to just be making that up. It's not even King Dowell slander. I don't even believe you. I don't even believe it, my guy. I don't even believe it. Anyways, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I guess I could have done this in a backyard, but the screen porch is beautiful, and I don't think there was a plug-in for the laptop back there. That's my only thing. Shh. We got the dogs going crazy. They see one person, they just freak out. To be fair, somebody did walk into the yard, so I don't know exactly what they're doing here. But anyways, we got chaos all around us, man. We got chaos all around us. Hilton Head is not meant for you to just sit in the Airbnb. It's meant for you to get out and about. So, yeah, perks of a live show. Things just happen. Things just happen. Never a dull moment, indeed. Anyways, 843-790-3377, guys. I don't know exactly what they're doing. That's 843-790-3377. I mean, maybe this is a sign that I shouldn't be live. Maybe it's a sign. They are doing some serious work on the island, for sure. They are doing serious work on the island. But it is, hey, this is a great place to be, man. Hilton Head's incredible. I love it down here. It's beautiful. I mean, literally, like I said, the weather today is unreal. She's freaking out. The rally dog is freaking out. So we're going to, yeah. Anyways, yeah, excited for the spring game Saturday, guys. Of course, baseball, huge series. Huge series. Huge series on over the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, come on now. Come on now. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You can get down? You want to get down? Okay. Be good. How about the news last night that Mark Kingston confirmed that confirming that Noah Hall, okay, it looks like they left. We should be good. That Noah Hall will be out for this weekend's game, which doesn't surprise me, guys. Again, we've heard through the grapevine that there's a good chance that Noah Hall will be out for this season, and they just have not announced it yet. So, we'll see if that's the case. I'm not trying to put anything out there that he is out. Again, there's just word on the street, and if somebody wants to dispel the rumor, Noah Hall himself, Mark Kingston, whoever, they're more than welcome to do so. But from what we've heard, there is a chance that he will be out for the year due to that back issue and getting surgery and what have you. So we shall see. It would be a huge loss. I mean, listen, I think this team, even with the loss of Noah Hall, is built to win. You've got quality depth in the pitching staff, no doubt. I mean, we've seen it time and time again all throughout this year. I think example for this weekend, Eli Jones will fill right in. He pitched beautifully at Mississippi State. I think he'll do really well. But, I mean, anytime you lose one of your weekend arms, if he is out for an extended period of time or even the season, it's a blow. I mean, it just is. It's a blow, and especially when you get into postseason play and, SEC tournament, regional supers, when you need arms, College World Series, of course, when you need arms, that's when your pitching depth is really tested. Again, the good news is you've got multiple guys that can start. You've got multiple guys that, can pitch big innings for you, and you feel confident with them. But, certainly it's something to keep an eye on. It's unfortunate. It's just really unfortunate because Noah Hall was spinning the ball so beautifully. And, of course, you saw the back flare up at Mississippi State. He just didn't look the same. But, again, I think this Gamecocks ball club is built in a way in which they will be able to combat losing one arm, even two arms. But you hope it doesn't become a trend because, my goodness, we certainly felt the injury bug last year. But I think this team will be okay. But you just hope Noah Hall, I just hope the rumors are not true that he will be out for an extended period of time. It's obviously something you don't want. You don't want to see it. So anyways, guys, how y'all feeling here on this Wednesday, April the 12th, hump day? Yes, Josh, this is the high-quality content that everybody is here for indeed. This is the high-quality content everyone is here for. So, let's see. Again, I know a lot of people making their way into Columbia for the spring game. By the way, guys, in case you didn't pick up on this, no Mark Ryan today. No Mark Ryan today. Wicked Weed Brewing truck passing us by. No Mark Ryan today. They're actually doing a live show at Ingles or something like that, and I think he's busy. And so no Mark Ryan. You just get me for 2 hours. We're rocking. We're rolling, of course. Coleman Hall says, I got to be honest. All due respect to him, but there were times when Birch looked like he was just there and occupying space. Coleman, I think that's very fair. I don't even think that's being mean. I think that's just real. Yeah, no doubt. So it's just interesting, though, and I'm not saying this is everybody, but it is interesting how, before the season last year, I give a take on Jordan Birch. Hey, if, not even saying he is, but if he doesn't have a good year this year, there's going to be people that potentially label him as a bust. I didn't say he was a bust in that moment. Not even remotely in that moment did I say he was a bust. I said that he was approaching bust territory because of his recruiting ranking, because of the hype and hoopla he got on the recruiting trail when he committed, and because of the numbers he had put up through 2 seasons. All of that was fair. And I even gave credit to Jordan Birch after his season last year for having a good season. Tipped my cap to him, highlighted the numbers. I thought he had a solid year, all things considered. But it's funny how when I that was back in August before the season started. When I created that video and posted that clip and gave that take, if you will, all hell broke loose. You all probably remember what the reaction was like. All hell broke loose. You're saying he's a bust, which I wasn't. Again, I was saying he was approaching bust territory if he didn't perform. That's all I said, which was true. And I stand by it. It still was true. Total chaos on social media. People losing their collective shit. Fast forward a couple of months. Jordan Birch hits the portal. Those same people. He was a bust anyways. He wasn't any good. Those same people, they're calling him a bust. Oh, look, 4.5 sacks. You can have him, Oregon. No big deal. It's wild to see how some people will heap praise on players that are theirs, and then the second that dude hits the portal, the second that dude switch up, they will completely turn on that player. And that's every single fan base. But I'm just someone I stay in the middle. I'm not going to, and I'm sure many of you out there the same way. You love the guys that are yours, you love your players, but you're not going to get carried away, right? You're not going to get carried away. So that's how you're able to keep a level head. It's if a guy wants to do, 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 Okay, I think that was the Jordan Birch hackers. That was the Birch camp that just hacked us. Anyways, you guys got the gist of what I was saying. So hit the remix on you. You guys got the gist of what I was saying there. That the hackers, I think, got us there for a moment, but we're all good. We're back. We're rocking. We're rolling. They can't keep us down forever. Yeah, DGD. Sometimes it happens, man. Technology is great until it isn't. But anyways, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377 here on this Wednesday. Luke RJ, did Jordan Birch leave because all that bus talk last year? LOL. I don't know, Luke RJ. I don't know. I don't know why he left. I think he left the bag talk, not the bus talk. I think he left for the bag, not because he was a bust. But I'm just saying, Luke RJ, that it's funny that, again, even I was saying after the season, like I gave him all the credit in the world for having a good year. And, you know, that video, of course, wasn't nearly as well received, right? I mean, it just that, and that's how you know. That's how you know people don't want to have real open dialogue and conversation and banter. There are people on social media that simply do want to be outraged. That's it. They want to be outraged. If you don't give all sides of the argument the same energy, you just want to be upset, especially if you're fueling the side of the argument that upsets you. It's as simple as that. I mean, I could take it back to the Dakereon Joyner thing, the Dakereon Joyner tweet, which I wish I wouldn't have deleted. That was silly. I shouldn't have deleted it. But the Dakereon Joyner tweet, you know, when that first happened, and all, I mean, just the chaos, the utter chaos and outrage that caused, then a couple of days later, a couple of weeks later, when I'm talking about Dakereon Joyner in a positive light, his role in the football team, the positive things he's doing, what happened? Not a peep. Not a peep. It got 1/10 of the views. You know, again, I've mentioned this many times, but the end consumer needs to shoulder a lot of the responsibility and, dare I say, blame for the way that media is now. Because you may not like a guy like Mark Ryan. You may not like a guy like myself at times when, you know, you say something in particular. You may not like a Stephen A. Smith or a Skip Bayless or a Shannon Sharp. You may not like, you may say you don't like those kind of guys. People may say they don't like certain types of content that are so edgy and over the top. Why are you saying this? It's absurd. But as it moves the needle, it's what people give attention to. Those types of content do 10x, 50x, 100x the views and the engagement over just like a normal take. They do. And so as long as that type of content is generating those views and engagement, that's the type of content you're going to get. And I'm not telling you that you should gear yourself to be some sort of shock jock or like, I don't do that. I don't do that in the slightest. I've never created a piece of content and thought to myself, what can I say in this moment that's going to move the needle or going to get people going? Whether it's a gift or a curse, I've been able to since the jump. When I speak my mind, that sort of just naturally happens. Again, for better or for worse, whether it's a gift or a curse, it generally just happens, inevitably happens throughout my content. But, you know, the end consumer, people can say they don't like it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You don't like bad news? Yes, you do. You do. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't feed into it. You wouldn't watch it. You wouldn't engage with it. You wouldn't just constantly be glued to it. People don't want to hear warm and fuzzy, like, let's talk about how great this is and how awesome this is and this. People want to hear you be bold, be call for coaches' jobs. People want to hear you have bold opinions and bold takes and be cutting edge. They do. That's what plays. That's literally what plays. So a guy like Mark Ryan, for example, people can say they hate Mark Ryan all they want. They can say he's no good, he's a bum, he's this, he's that. Mark Ryan knows how to get under the skin of Gamecock fans. That's just and Clem Sucks fans. He knows how to get under people's skin. His content plays. Every time he says something about South Carolina, you know what? He catches hate, but he gets attention. He gets attention. He flat out gets attention. And I respect it, though, because I think what it more so is, and I maybe not even being respectful to my own self, because, again, if you're out there chasing views and chasing clicks and trying to be a shot check, I think that's, and you're not being genuine, I think that's very obvious to people. Like, it's just, you come off as you're not genuine, right? It's something you can just sniff a mile away. It just is. But I will say, the reason that TSUS, for example, one of the many reasons like we found success is because, you know, traditional media, traditional entities, it feels like it's box score content, right? This is what happened. Here are the numbers. Here are the stats. Here's who the team plays next. That's what the content, here's what the coach said. That's what the content consists of. The difference between the traditional entities and yours truly is, instead of box score content, this content is, okay, I'm taking all of those things into account. Here's what I think about those things. Here's what I think about what the coach said. Here's what I think about this performance. Here's what I think about this game. Here's what I think about the upcoming series, the upcoming weekend, the upcoming game. Here's what I think about it. It's opinion-driven based. It's banter-based, open-ended banter, which is what this show is. So it's much different, and it's what plays. I think people resonate with people who are brave enough to have an opinion and stand behind that opinion, to have a bold take and stand behind it. The amount of people I've had come up to me, guys, and tell me, thank you for saying things that I cannot say. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I wanted Muschamp fired at X date. Thank you for saying that. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was not able to say it. I mean, guys, I went on that Agoji podcast, and 3 guys that were on the team when Will Muschamp was the coach. Bro, we were watching your stuff. You hit the nail on the head. You were saying things that most people just could not say. We're not willing to say. I've said this on these airways before. People resonate with the bold. They resonate with the brave. They resonate with people. That's why anonymous accounts don't win, guys. I'm here to tell you right now, you have no shot. If you're not willing to put your face out there on social media and to put yourself out there, you have no chance. Nobody's resonating with an anonymous picture. Nobody. You might be able to build a following on social media a little bit, but in regards to building a business and monetizing and doing it full time, you have no shot, because people invest in people. They don't invest in logos. They don't invest in slogans. They invest in people. So if you're not somebody who's brave enough to put your face behind your opinion, you have no shot. Because I can tell you, as a business owner, I'm not investing in you. You're a coward at that point. You're a coward. Nobody's investing in a coward. You have to be willing to stand behind what you believe in, stand behind what you say, just at minimum. Just stand behind what you say. And that's why I've always said, you can't do it being anonymous. You got to put yourself out there. Again, if you want to monetize and do it full time, because people invest in people. And so if you're not a likable person, if you're not someone that can command a room, if you're not someone that can talk business, if you're not someone that can solve problems and present value to other business owners and present value to your business partners, you don't have a shot. You don't have a shot. Anyways, that's my business soapbox for you. We're going down a rabbit hole, which is the beauty of the Daily Crow, by the way, that we don't just sit kind of, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Sometimes I get on here and like, sometimes it's kind of obvious, the low hanging fruit of like, okay, there's a game that just happened. Let's talk about the game, what have you. Queen Slayer says, okay, but will they invest in a Disney princess just spelled differently? And it took me a minute, Chase. It took me a minute, Queen Slayer, to understand what you were saying, but I got it. I got it. Like I said, there's times where there's just low-hanging fruit with this show, and you know, we just had a game. Let's talk about it. But I like the fact that we can get outside the box. You know what I mean? We can talk about everything, even stuff that's not sports. Guys, that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our first break. On the other side, I want to continue to hear from you, more of your questions, your comments, your calls. and more. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Rick Reese for the brand new overlay you see below us. Really, really good stuff. I like it. I think it's snazzy. I think it's dope. So again, I appreciate Eric for all of his hard work. For sure, you see right here, guys, tsus.store. Be sure to check us out there. All of our social media handles down here, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. He didn't put Twitch, but you can follow us there as well. 843-790-3377 is the number. And guys, if you have not done so, by the way, do us a favor. Head over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review for the show. It helps the show. It helps the podcast, helps the business. We're still trying to obviously grow the podcast. So if you could do that, again, it helps the podcast grow. And tell your friends about the Spurs Up show and everything we're doing here. So again, would love to hear from you guys. Again, I appreciate the love and support and really happy that I've got a platform we can come and talk and conversate and hang out, if you will. You know, it's funny. Since we're kind of talking about all sorts of randomness, if you will. Okay, Texas A&M offensive tackle Matthew Wyckoff plans to enter the transfer portal. Okay. I was going to say, though, since we're talking about sort of a bunch of different random what have you, I saw a tweet this morning. I won't say who tweeted it or what tweet it was, but basically it was Gamecock Twitter was going at this guy. And every time I see something like that, it just reminds me, man, I'm really glad that's not me. Like, I don't want to see anybody's day get ruined or get thrown into a loop on social media. Just, you know, I don't want to see it happen. I like the peace. I really do. But it's you just, when you operate on social media, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I mean, really, truly, you're going to get put through the ringer. Like, if your goal, I think that's something I see a lot with these young Gamecock content creators. And I don't know if there's really any out there that are like actually all that serious that are doing it, that want to do like get to the level that TSUS is or beyond. I don't know that really any are out there trying to do that necessarily. But I think one of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest problems I see from these guys is they want to be liked by all Gamecock fans. Like, and they see it as a negative to be disliked by even one Gamecock fan. And it's just impossible. It's impossible, right? Because when you try to please everybody, you please nobody. Nobody likes you. You're boring. You don't move the needle. You don't want to be liked. You want to be respected. You want to be entertaining. You want to be informative. You want to be bold. You want to be an entity that people actually look to as like a source of information, but also their entertainment, their opinions. You know, it's not about being liked. It's really not. It's like I've told you guys before, you know, the Carolina Slapdick community, I'm grateful that we're not liked by them. There's some people within this fan base I'm grateful do not like me. There really are. It would say more about my character. It would say more about me as a person. It would say more about me if those certain people did like me and did rock with me and did want to hang out with me. And thank God they don't. Thank God they don't. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for those that show love. I'm grateful for those that hate. Everybody has a role, as I've said many times. So anyways, yeah, Lynn Turner. And you say there's some Gamecock fans who don't seem to want to be happy. They don't like anything. Well, Lynn, I just like, here's the thing. They're just people. Like, it's like that's what I've said before. It's like, dude, I don't care if you're a Gamecock fan or not. Like, you can be a Gamecock fan and also just a terrible person that's miserable and nobody wants to be around. That's fine. Your fandom doesn't all of a sudden make you a good person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, your fandom does, like, what your fandom tells me or what your fandom does for me is like on a Saturday, you and I are buddies. We're pulling for the same team. All them other days, we have nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It does not mean anything. So, anyways, yeah, you're never going to be liked by everybody, man. Like, even if you're doing nothing but being positive, you're sunshine pumping, right? Even if you're just doing that, there's going to be people that are like, you're too positive. You're never going to please everybody, dude. It's just impossible. I mean, I've felt it firsthand. I literally went from 2020, 19 and 20, you know, people saying he's toxic, he's negative, he's the worst Gamecock fan ever, to 2021 during Beamer's first season, I'm 110% on board with Shane Beamer. And that 2021 season was interesting, a little bit tumultuous. We had to be patient. I was saying, hey, be patient. It's going to come together. It's year one. We have to be patient. Oh, I was labeled as you're a sunshine pumper. You're overly optimistic. And I was like, both sides have a problem with me. That's how you know you're doing something right, when you got both sides on you. So, anyways, guys, again, like I said, excited for the spring game, though. Going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of you, I'm sure a lot of you will be there in person, taking it all in. It'll be a great time. So, cannot wait for that. Let's see. Got to love when people call about my car's extended warranty. Really do appreciate them doing that. Gotta love it. Daddy Go says, pleasing everyone means you're lying to somebody. No doubt. It's a great way to phrase it. Coleman Hall says, Chris, did you think Muschamp was a bad hire from the start? I personally thought it was going to end poorly once he got the failed UF staff back together. Well, Coleman, I'll say this. I'll say this. I wasn't doing this when Muschamp was hired, right? So I guess not that really matters, but like my thoughts on it aren't documented anywhere or anything. I will say that I thought it was an interesting hire, Coleman. I believe in people deserve second chances for sure. Like coaches, just because you had one bad stint somewhere, it doesn't mean that you should never get another head coaching job. So, admittedly, like I wanted to be optimistic. I didn't know, right? I didn't want to go into it with a negative, like this guy is doomed to fail. So, I didn't know, but I was kind of 50-50. Let's jump to the phone lines here.
Hi, this is Matt.
Okay, so we got more spam calls incoming. Love to see it. We got more spam calls incoming. DGD says only you can prevent forest fires. Wise words to Texas A&M this season. Why would those be your words, DGD? Why would those be your words? Anyways, guys, beautiful day here in Hilton Island, South Carolina. I mean, it is a fantastic day. You could not ask for a better one. I think the high today is like 78 or something like that. It is absolutely perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Let's see. How about this crazy stat, by the way, guys? This is something I did not know. And let me make sure. Let me pull this up really quick. So like I told you, Saturday Down South dropped an article. 7 strange but true SEC droughts heading into 2023. Okay. And of course, one of the droughts was South Carolina and the quarterback position. Like we talked a lot about last year, the Gamecocks have not had a quarterback taken in the NFL draft since 1990 when Todd Ellis was selected, which is just crazy in its own right, right? And Spencer Rattler, had he departed, he would have been the first since then. I think we all feel confident he will be selected in the NFL draft. He will break that streak for South Carolina. Get this, though. Get this. South Carolina, since it joined the conference in 1992, has not had a quarterback be named All SEC. That is shocking. And it almost doesn't sound right. It almost doesn't sound right. But again, this is per Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. Spencer Rattler returned to Columbia, and this is straight from the article where he'll try to become the program's first All SEC quarterback since it joined the conference 3 decades ago. That is hard to believe. I mean, when you think about the great signal callers that have rolled through, I mean, you go all the way back to the 90s, guys. Steve Tannehill, Anthony Wright, Phil Petty. You even want to talk Blake Mitchell, some of the numbers he put up. Steven Garcia, Connor Shaw, Dylan Thompson. Like, how did Dylan Thompson in 2014 not get all SEC honors? The dude set records. None of the Jake Bentley years. It's crazy when you think about that. No South Carolina quarterback has ever been named all SEC. And then you do the math, and it makes sense why the Gamecocks have never won the conference. It makes sense why the history has been what it's been. How are you going to win double-digit games without having a quarterback named to the all-conference team? How are you going to challenge for an SEC championship without your quarterback being named all SEC? How has that position been such a problem for this program? I mean, we've had some good ones. Don't get me wrong. We've had some good ones. But that's a baffling stat. No quarterback drafted since 1990, and a quarterback has never been named all SEC. It's mind-blowing. And I think for South Carolina this season, dare I say, if you're going to win 9+ games, I think Spencer Rattler's got to be an all-conference quarterback. And especially, too, when you look at the quarterbacks that are returning this year that will be starting in the SEC, I think you could argue he's a top 3 or 4 QB. I think you could argue he's the best returning quarterback in the SEC East. You could argue he's the best. There aren't many better than him in the entire conference. So I think for the Gamecocks, there's many people out there, 9 wins, 10 wins. God, we're going to challenge for the East. I think if that does happen, I think you'll see Spencer Rattler be an all-SEC player. And I think it'll have to happen. I think he'll have to have an all-conference type of season for the Gamecocks to achieve those type of heights and that type of success. It's just a crazy stat, though. I mean, it's a crazy stat. It's a crazy stat. It's a crazy, crazy stat. Anyways, guys, we're creeping into hour number... Shh. Stop. Go inside. Go inside. Dogs hear they hear a horn honk and they go crazy. Okay, so it looks like the high today is actually 73 in Hilton Head. Beautiful this weekend, though. My God, part of me wishes I was staying. There's a part of me that wishes I was staying down here. Going to be beautiful down here this weekend. But it'll be fun this weekend being, like I said, in studio, actually in the studio, locked into the spring game. Lynn Turner says, isn't Anthony Wright the only Gamecocks quarterback to start in an NFL game? No, Connor Shaw actually did. Connor Shaw started for the Cleveland Browns. He did start. But Anthony Wright's definitely has had the best career for a quarterback. Definitely has had the best career. There's no question. Cody says, excited to get back on the course. Hitting the links to my good buddy Joey Pancake tomorrow. Tell Joey I said, what's up, Cody? He said, come play with us when you're in Columbia sometime. Yeah, we'll do it. Would love to play. We got a little co-star back here. A little co-star in the background. A little co-star in the background. Coleman Hall says, I got a pit in my stomach when Champ announced the Florida staff was getting back together. If you can't win enough to keep your job with Florida's talent, resources, and even beat FCS teams, I don't see how you could do it at South Carolina or do good at South Carolina. I mean, for sure. I mean, Coleman, we could spend hours just talking about the Muschamp era and all the mistakes and the problems, but I think Will Muschamp, when you look back on his tenure, his biggest mistake was he didn't learn from his previous mistakes. he just flat out didn't. I mean, to your point, why would you think go into a different school but bring in the same staff that did not work at Florida, a place, again, that has more resources and has more talent, has more history, has more tradition? Why would you think that would work? Yeah, it was doomed from the start, unfortunately. It was doomed from the start, and, we all wanted – it's crazy, though, Coleman, sitting here talking about it so so plainly, so bluntly, if you will, because, we look back and, I mean, dude, I'm telling you right now, when you talk about the history of TSUS, and I will one day, guys, sit down and do like a 5-part series on just like the history of the Spurs Up show and, everything we've done to get to this point. Dude, it was a war on social media like every day, day in, day out. I think there were a lot of people, and I don't hold it against anybody, obviously, but I think there were a lot of people that are fans of TSUS today that hated my guts back then when we called for Will Muschamp's firing. I mean, I think people, it's easy to sit here and say now, Will Muschamp's terrible. He's the worst. I hate Will Muschamp. But I'm telling you, man, when I first called for his job, it was chaos. I mean, it was pure chaos. Pure chaos. So happy to be sitting here today with the situation we have right now versus what the situation was then. Let me just say that. So Coleman Hall says, I think a lot of people trauma bonded to Muschamp given Spurrier's departure. True. Queen Slayer says, I still don't like you. Cheers to that, Chase. Many don't. Many don't, my friend. Many don't. Coleman says, you can't talk smack and be a jerk if you're bad at your job. Thought he was too lippy for how bad of a coach he was. Yeah, I mean, some people thought Muschamp won the press conference. I'm sure Luke RJ, Luke RJ loves talking about coaches in press conference. If you're good at the press conference, you're a good coach. I'm sure Luke RJ thought that Will Muschamp was great at pressers. A lot of people thought he was great at pressers. A lot of people thought he was great. I'm not trying to put words in Luke RJ's mouth, but I'm just making the point that a lot of people thought he was awesome in the press conference. I think Gamecock fans just love to see, like, Muschamp had that chip on his shoulder and that fire about him that I think a lot of our fans do as well, that, like, screw you, like, I'm good enough, like, you know what I mean? Like, so a lot of fans resonated with that. Like, he's our guy, you know what I mean? He's our guy. Muschamp's ours. He's made Columbia his home, Will Korb, what's up, my man? What's going on? Excited to get down to Myrtle Beach in 2 weeks. Very excited. Very excited for it, man. Going to be a really, really good time. Looking forward to hanging out with all the Myrtle Beach folks. So, Coleman says he gave Stone Cold Steve Austin vibes, but he never won anything. Would have been great if he had some W's. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The Muschamp era. What a time. What a time that was. What a time that was indeed. What a time that was indeed. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. As you can see, we're in the golf attire today. We'll be heading out there to Harbor Town. Again, I want to shout out Derek over at Salty Dog Cafe, or the Salty Dog, if you will. Really, really great stuff. Meeting him, linking up with him. Be good. There's a dog out there walking. You be good. You be good. What is on your nose? What did you get into? There you go. You got it off. Anyways, we're having a blast down here in Hilton Head, man. We're having a blast. Appreciate you guys. Again, showing love, support. The fact we're able to do this remotely is really, really cool, man. It's awesome. I think one of the reasons, and I know one of the reasons that TSUS has also succeeded has been, I always had a thirst and a hunger, I should say, for entrepreneurship and flexibility and being my own boss and controlling my schedule and doing things my way and on my clocking in and clocking out, if you will, like when I want to. And so the fact that we're able to do this remotely and change things up and do a different time, and it's really cool. And we couldn't do it without your love and support. I mean, honestly, guys, if 0 people were tuned in, everybody's like, nope, we're only tuning in 12 to 2. I wouldn't waste my time, wouldn't waste my breath. But the fact of the matter is we have you guys showing love and support. So I really do appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys being flexible, obviously, with the changes. Lynn Turner says, without Champ, we probably don't have Beamer, so the pain served a purpose. It always does, Lynn. It always does. It always does, for sure. And I'll say this, our good friend Brad Crawford, I want to pull up his tweet because I saw him say something yesterday. I thought it was really interesting. He said this: 2.5 years in the Shane Beamer's tenure at South Carolina, the program's further along than I thought it would be. Sustain top 25s from here and annual top 20 recruiting hauls, and this could be a decade-plus hire for the Gamecocks. This has not been a roster that constitutes 3 wins over top 15 teams over 2 seasons, but Beamer has them. A lot of lopsided games in year 1 that went in the other direction last year. Coaching. Interested in seeing what Dowell Loggins brings offensively. And it really made me think. It made me stop and think, and it gave me perspective on where this program is at this point. And I think I would even say I think they're ahead of schedule of what I expected. I really do believe so. I thought it was going to take 3 to 4 years to build the roster, but the transfer portal has changed that. You know, without the portal, you don't get a Spencer Rattler. You don't get a Juice Wells. You don't get a Nate Atkins from last year. You don't get a Devontae Reed to help you at safety. Like, you don't get these guys. You just don't get these guys, right? So, you know, it's what Beamer and company have done to this point, where they're at right now. I think the program is definitely ahead of schedule in regards to what my expectations, what many of your expectations were. Because when he was hired in December of 2020, it was a mess. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It was a complete mess. So to see what they've done, and I don't know if you guys agree. Would you agree it's ahead of schedule? Because I would certainly say so. I would certainly say that it's ahead of schedule. You know, I thought, again, making a bowl game in year 1 would be a massive success. I mean, winning 8 games last year, that was a massive success. So if you would have told anybody in December of 2020 when he was hired, hey, coming into year 3, you know, you're going to have an opportunity to win 8+, maybe 9+ games. This guy, that guy will be back. You'll have this hype. You might be preseason top 25. I don't think anybody would have turned their nose up at that. I think this program is definitely ahead of schedule, and it's all thanks to Shane Beamer. Guys, let's jump to the phone lines real quick. We got our guy, Will. Oh, and Will hung up. Okay. Will, if you want to call back in, would love to take your call. My guy Luke RJ wants to clear the air. Chris Will Muschamp was a horrible press conference coach. He would try to bully all the reporters and was arrogant and answer with short questions and said the word schematically every time. He also said program. Okay, well, Luke RJ, I thought you would say that he was a great press conference coach. So look how little I know, I should say. Look how little I know. So there you go. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines here. We got Will.
Will from Dirty Myrtle.
Will, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good, man. Just wanted to call and talk a little bit about the baseball game last night. Another good performance by Petrie. I mean, dude, freaking insane. Also, you think, I mean, I saw they moved Cassis down in the order. He's really been struggling lately. It just seems like he's just trying to hit for the fence every time. Other than him getting, hit by baseballs or some walks, he hasn't really got on base much. Just want to see your overall thoughts on Petrie and the fact that I don't know what the home run total, like the biggest one ever is for South Carolina, like the record for single season. I'm not sure what that is, but does he have a chance to get to that? And then also your thoughts on Cassis' slump that he's been in lately.
Yeah, I mean, Petrie's incredible, man. I mean, I think he's definitely putting together the best freshman season in school history. I think it was Colin Taylor at Gamecock Central that posted about Justin Smoke had 17 home runs as a freshman, and Petrie's already got 16. And we've got 6 weeks left of this season. So he's going to eclipse that. He's probably going to be a 20-plus home run guy, which is nuts. I mean, that's when you stop and think about it, that's absolutely nuts. In regards to Cassis, man, I mean, he's a guy that I think he definitely resembles the 2021 lineup, the feast or famine, which, it won't kill you if you got 1 or 2 of those guys in your lineup. The problem with that team was that was the entire lineup. So you're going to keep Cassis in there for his power, for his upside when he does get hot. And I think that's what the hope is that he will get hot again at some point. But, you're not going to see them take him out of the lineup. And that'll be a great storyline, this weekend, Will, is just him going up against his former team. What does that look like, right? I mean, I'm sure there will be a lot of emotions there for them. I'm sure he's got a lot of great relationships with Corbin and his former teammates. But, you know, I'm sure going into Nashville, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, right? Want to show everybody, hey, this is what I'm all about. And certainly he's put together a great season, but you know, he's going to want to have a big weekend. So I think that's going to be a really, really big storyline for the weekend, just to see how he performs. And certainly the Gamecocks will need him to be at his best as they'll look to take down the 4th-ranked Vanderbilt Commodores. But, yeah, I still like Cass's game. I would keep him in the lineup. Hey, you get hot, you get cold.
Oh, yeah.
You got to trust your guys through the slumps. And, you know, for sure, I think, you know, I think he'll get it going at some point. But, yeah, watching Ethan Petrie, man, what he's doing on a nightly basis is it's just special.
Crazy.
It's just special. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah. But also, I mean, Brewer, man, wow. I mean, that guy has really stepped up lately and been a great piece for that lineup and hitting in the second spot. He looked pretty good there last night, almost like a second leadoff guy.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think it's going to look like when Will gets back and possibly, it sounded like Kingston was saying maybe 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think he slides back into that lead spot with Wimmer? Because Wimmer's kind of done pretty well there. Or do you think they kind of put him somewhere else?
Well, I don't think you'll mess with what's working. I don't think it's as simple as, okay, he's back, just stick him back where he was. I think you probably try to I think you try to ease him back in. I mean, when he's ready to go, he's ready to go. But, you know, is he going to be like full action, playing 9 innings every night? Like, is he going to be fully ready to go? I mean, I would imagine so. But, you know, you're not going to mess with what is working. But you definitely want to get him back in the lineup. I mean, he was a starter for a reason. He's a big-time stick. I think what you see, though, too, is, I mean, this has helped build depth, if nothing else. Like, Michael Braswell needs to continue to play. You've got other guys. If McGillis comes back and he starts out in a slump, you got other guys that can platoon and help out. So, I mean, it's a great problem to have. You know what I mean? Last year we were trying to scrape together looking for players that could help us win games, and we couldn't find any. And now we got too many players. You know what I mean? So you're in a good spot. You're in a good position, but you definitely want him back. And I think he will be a big piece for this team late in the season and going into the postseason.
Yeah, and Braswell, he's struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he's clutch. Like, when we need something, he seems like he can always come up when absolutely in need, but just the consistency there hasn't really been there. So I'm wondering, I'm thinking that when Will comes back, he's sliding out of that spot he's in, and he probably will, you know, probably still see time, but I don't think he'll see as much moving forward. But
well,
yeah, man, just excited to get to 30 wins. I mean, that'll be one of the quickest we got to 30 wins, right? If we
I mean, this is one of the best starts in school history for sure. I mean, it's again, it's incredible to see what we're doing. But back to your point about Michael Braswell, you know, everybody trusts Monty Lee on the hitting side of things. You know, they credit him with the massive turnaround. Well, if you credit Monty Lee and you trust Monty Lee, there's a reason why Michael Braswell wasn't the starter and didn't play a whole lot at the beginning of the season, because Monty Lee and company, they saw something in Braswell that he just wasn't consistent enough. He wasn't consistent enough to be one of the best 9 hitters that took the field. And so I think that's what you're seeing. I mean, I like Braswell a lot. So it's not a situation like, well, he's just terrible. You just have a lot of competition. And, I mean, even Kingston in the preseason made the point that guys that were no-brainer, no doubt starters last year, they're fighting for jobs. And I think Michael Braswell was probably the guy he was talking about. So, love Brazzy. I mean, again, he's a baller. He's a player for sure. But I think you're seeing why McGillis was the go-to guy to start the season.
Yeah. One more thing. Who was that pitcher that played last night? I can't remember his name. It wasn't Austin or Hicks or any of them. Who's that? I think he pitched 1 inning. He had some good stuff. I hadn't seen a lot of him this year.
Well, they threw a bunch of different guys. I mean, there was Austin Williamson, Hicks threw, Kate Austin threw, Phipps threw. Trying to think. Becker threw. Who else?
There was one guy I hadn't seen much of. I was pretty impressed with. I can't remember. It wasn't any of them, I don't think. I mean, there was like 9 guys almost who came out there last night. But,
yeah, it was a Johnny Holstaff type of night, which is always good in the midweek to get those guys. I mean, I can find it real quick to get those guys work. Let's see. So Becker, Jerzenbeck, Williamson, Phipps, Proctor, Sweat, Austin, and Hicks, all 3.
Sweat.
Yeah, Sweat threw in the Thursday night game against LSU as well. Yeah, he's up there bumping 94, 95, and he's barely pitched all year.
Yeah,
so,
he's got some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, again, you got depth. He threw 1 inning and struck out the side. So he threw pretty well.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed with him. But yeah, it's just crazy how much pitching depth we have this year compared to last year where we were hurt. Just couldn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, wow. Like, hopefully Noah Hall isn't hurt for the season there. Let's just hope on that. 'Cause, I mean, he's been a talent. I mean, he really only had one bad game so far this year. But, anyway, I'll hop off over here, Chris, and keep listening.
Will, you're the man. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. Great stuff from our friend Will from Dirty Myrtle. And to his point, tons of pitching depth from the Gamecocks team for sure. Guys, we'll go ahead and jump into the break. On this side, I want to continue to hear from you. More your questions, comments, calls, and more. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back taking the questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Again, I was thinking about this over the break, that stat that Saturday on South Post. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things you read. I think you read it and you're like, that cannot be true. That South Carolina in their, joined the conference in 1992. So this is their 31st year of play in the SEC football. 31st year of play. South Carolina has never had a quarterback make the all-SEC team. Like, it's just hard to fathom. When you think about the names, the guys that have come through, Tannehill, Wright, Petty, Mitchell, Garcia, Shaw, Thompson, even Bentley, none of those guys. Nobody's ever sniffed an all-conference team. And then you've had no quarterback drafted since April of 1990. I think the struggles at that position or the lack of big success at that position, I think it really explains a lot. And I think South Carolina, for them to take the next step, they got to start hitting on the quarterback position. Those quarterbacks are going to take their play to the next level. So, to be fair, too, though, and I will say, I feel like it's necessary that I say this. Travis says that's probably what kept us mediocre all those years, lack of quarterbacks. I mean, also, too, though, it's talent around him, right? It's talent around him. So, my guy Frank, good job, Yardcocks. Indeed, 144 days till football. How about that? 144 days, Frank, into kickoff. We'll start our so that means 44 days until about May. So it's be about May 26th, May 27th. That is when we will start our countdown to the 2023 football season. That's when we'll start our countdown. 100 days, and we'll start from there, and we will we'll rock. So those are always fun. It's always fun posting the countdown videos and what have you. So let's see the results from last night. Florida beat Florida State 5-3. Tennessee over Eastern Kentucky 14-2. How about Clem Sucks beating Georgia 8-1? Georgia Tech beats Auburn 12-8. Bama beats Southern Miss 13-0. Vandy wins big in their midweek 14-2. Mississippi State beats UAB 7-3. LSU beats Tulane 11-5. How about UTSA beats A&M 5-1? Holy smokes. Gamecocks obviously got the dub. Mizzou beats Missouri State 10-1. Memphis beats Ole Miss 11-9. And Arkansas disposes of Little Rock by a final score of 21-5. We got two SEC series starting tomorrow night. Kentucky at LSU. That'll be a really good one, 1 versus 12. And then Texas A&M hosting Missouri. Those games get going at 7 and 8. And you look at the other SEC series this weekend. Of course, I think Carolina Vandy certainly a headliner. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, the rivalry series. That will take center stage for sure. Let's see. Florida, Georgia. That'll be a good one in Gainesville. Bama, Auburn. So this is like rivalry weekend, I guess, in the SEC in regards to series are concerned. And then Arkansas, Tennessee will be a really good one. That game Friday night will be on SEC Network. How did the Gamecocks not get the SEC Network game? I don't know. I think, though, if I recall correctly, I could be wrong. Let's see here. All three of the games this weekend, I thought one of them was on SEC Network. No, they're all SEC Network Plus, which is just crazy. 7 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 2 o'clock this weekend. I feel like SEC Network owes us. Don't you feel like they owe us? Because we were supposed to get a Saturday game on SEC Network and against LSU, and we never got it due to weather. So, I don't know. That's unfortunate. Either way, though, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Lynn Turner says we need to be able to, or we need to expand SEC Network to multiple channels. That would be good. How about just the Gamecock channel, like the Longhorn Network? We'll do the Gamecocks Network. DGD says, are you able to go back and rewatch them if they're on SEC Network Plus. Yeah, you can watch DGD. You can watch the replay, no doubt, for sure. Come here. Come here. Come on. Okay. You want to go play? So, let's see. We got a big truck coming down the way. Let's see. Guys, tomorrow's podcast is going to be a really, really fun one. Going to be a really fun one as we preview the Garnet and Black spring game. Looking forward to talking spring game. That being said, let's go ahead, guys. Jump to the phone lines here.
To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Robbie, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing good. You having some technical difficulties? It took a minute. Usually it doesn't even go through like that.
I missed the button, my guy, but we are good. What's going on?
Okay. First things first. It didn't go as I expected. Of course, I mean, it's okay. Like, I know my prediction was way off, but who cares? We got the dub. That's all that matters. I picked us to win, and we won. So it is what it is, and I hate that. And I hate that Noah Hall is hurt. Hopefully, he can get back sooner rather than later.
Mm.
If not, prayers out to him. I hope he gets better, regardless if it's sooner or later. I just want him to get better and get back on the field as soon as possible, because he's one heck of a pitcher. Okay. And I'm not going to freak out all because of that, solely because of how many great arms that we have.
Mm.
I think we'll be okay in the long run, even if he's not able to come back for the rest of the season. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, and I think our pitching depth will definitely survive it, no doubt. I think our pitching depth will be fine. So thankfully, we got a bunch of talented guys that are ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. And that stat that you read about the quarterbacks at USC, right? I knew that the last time we had a quarterback drafted was Todd Ellis. I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we have not had a quarterback make the All-SEC team, and I agree with you. How in God's green earth did Dylan Thompson not make the All-SEC team?
I have no idea, my friend. That's my question
Are those
well.
guys smoking? Are those guys smoking joints with Snoop Dogg or something? Were those guys smoking joints with Snoop Dogg back then or something? What was going on, man?
I don't know.
Dude was chunking the ball all over the field, man. I mean, putting up stats that wound up being records. I mean, come on. And I definitely think I could see us this weekend, by the way, taking 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that, at least for now, I got us taking 2 out of 3. Okay, I got us winning 2 out of 3 this weekend. It might change between now and tomorrow. I don't know yet. But for now, I got us taking 2 out of 3. But also, on the other hand, I'm thinking maybe we need a sweep because we weren't able to get the third game in against LSU. Of course, we had no control over it. The weather said, no, you're not getting this game in. But I just, for now, think that we'll take 2 out of 3 against Vandy.
Which would be a great weekend. I mean, if you can go on the road, take 2 out of 3 from a really good Vandy team, that would be a success, no doubt.
And Will from Dirty Myrtle, if you're still listening, I will be in Myrtle Beach the 6th and 7th of October.
The 6th and 7th of October.
I will be in Myrtle Beach. I don't think we have a game that weekend, so that works out perfectly because I'll be at a men's conference at Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
So I won't have to worry about missing no games or what have you. I'll just be chilling in Myrtle Beach for the weekend. I definitely also,
I was going to say, maybe you and Will can link up.
Maybe, if I'm not too busy.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think, I mean, don't get me wrong. Was I kind of excited when we hired Will Muschamp? Kinda. I was kind of excited. And I definitely agree with you that what you said about, the reason why people were behind Will Muschamp was because they were trying to get over the fact that Spurrier left, and they took what they could get, and what we got was Will Muschamp. We were so scarred by Spurrier leaving that we just wanted a head football coach. And turns out the one that we got was not a good one. It was not fun being a Gamecock fan in the month. It wasn't.
No, it was not. It was not fun creating content around the Gamecocks either during that time, honestly. It was, but it wasn't.
Thankfully,
I don't know.
Thankfully, though, Shane Beamer has made Gamecock football fun to watch again. Win, lose, or draw, it's fun to watch again. Back then, you were like, oh, crap, we got to play Florida. We're probably going to lose. We're playing Alabama. We're probably going to get our brains beat in. Now, you never know. I mean, like I said last year, if you would have told me this time last year that we were going to beat A&M, beat Tennessee, and beat Clemson all in the same year, I would have been like, you're smoking crack. You're crazy. But Beamer has got these dudes believing in themselves, and I truly believe, like he said in the promotional video or whatever it was called or whatever, that was the problem, was confidence in each other and confidence in themselves. And this team, in the first 2 years of Beamer, you can see the confidence in these guys. They've got confidence now, which is something that they have not had for a very, very long time.
Yeah, guys are having fun, man, playing for each other, believing one another. And, it also helps when you're having success on the field. But, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch, when it's going well.
Before I get off of here, go ahead and finish.
I was just going to say, when it's going well, it's definitely a lot of fun to watch. So,
yeah, for sure. And just ahead, I know we got a while until then, but whenever we get to be about 2 weeks away from the season, okay? You remember how we did my game-by-game prediction and you pulled up the schedule graphic?
I do remember that. I do recall.
Let's do that again because it would be easier for me to do it that way than trying to remember the schedule off the cuff.
We can do it, Robbie. I'm game, man. I'm game for sure.
Okay. Okie dokie. And anyways, you have a great rest of your vacation. And if you go to the beach, put on some sunscreen. And I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow night, man. Tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be great to see some folks I don't think I've seen in a while in Somerville. So
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Have a great rest of your day. And go Cox. And to heck with that team in the upstate. I'm not even going to say the name, okay? No, I'm not even going to. Don't need to because they suck.
Mm-hmm. Robbie, one question for you before
Regardless.
you dip out. What's for lunch today?
That's a good question. I don't know. I had leftovers yesterday. I had a East Bay Deli chicken wrap for lunch, and then I had a leftover Big Mac that my brother didn't eat while he was here. I had that for dinner last night.
Okay. I was just curious.
But I don't know. I'm honestly hungry right now, as a matter of fact. I don't know what I'm gonna eat though. I'll find something. By hook or by crook, I'll find something.
By hook or by crook.
But
For sure.
I'll see you tomorrow. And I've already made up my mind that I'm gonna try the ribs tomorrow. Because the ribs at Carolina House are on fire, so I'm gonna try those tomorrow. So I won't even have to look at the menu.
I love it, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time for sure. Yeah, the food is phenomenal as well.
Oh,
so.
Absolutely. All right, buddy, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon, Robbie. I'll see you tomorrow night.
For sure. All right, man.
All right, man. Take care. Great stuff from Robbie Davis. I need to start smoking a cigar every time I have Robbie call in because it's a good time, good break for me to smoke a stogie. Anyways, guys, 843-790-3377. Appreciate our good friend Robbie Davis calling in. Justin says, we don't even know what we have yet. Who's progressed and who needs some definite work is coming this Saturday night. Will he be ready for the summer? Yeah, Justin, it's crazy, too, to think about that, football. I mean, we never stop talking about it, but, dude, after the spring game, I mean, yes, you'll have the portal and stuff like that, but after the spring game, football goes into kind of a hiatus. You know what I mean? Like, football really doesn't pick back up. I'd say the month of May, nothing. The month of June is like nothing for football. And then July, middle of July, you get into SEC Media Days, and then it'll be 2 weeks before fall camp starts. Stuff like that. So, yeah, it'll be great to see the guys on the field, though. A lot to talk about, of course, guys. Like I mentioned, the podcast tomorrow will be a full spring game preview. Everything from top storylines, players to watch for, who I think the spring game standout will be, what I most want to see from the spring game, stuff like that. So, going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, guys. That being said, we'll go ahead and jump into our final break of the day. But on the other side, I want to continue to hear from you. More of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking the questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Final 15 minutes or so here on the Daily Crow. Appreciate you all tuning in. Guys, no TDC tomorrow. We'll be back live Friday as normal. Tomorrow is a travel day for us, so we'll be heading to Somerville, of course, for the spring tour as that continues. Looking forward to getting after it in Somerville for sure. Bruin Nation says the one good thing about June, Beamer will roll off a few welcome homes. Big recruiting month. No doubt. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll probably Bruin Nation secure most of the 24 class in that month. That's kind of when they do it. You know, with the signing day now in December, you know, they get all that done over the summer. I mean, most guys want to commit and get it over with before the season even starts. So before the season starts. Let's see. Lynn Turner says Spurrier was in a no-win situation. He lost the team and the fans. He should have retired instead of saying in a presser that he was retiring in a year or two. That started the decommitment train. Yeah, that really did. When he said, yeah, I got a couple more years in me, that really is what did it, what sent you into a spiral, if you will, unfortunately. John Edward, Tank Booker from Maryland, supposed to announce where he's transferring to in South Carolina in his top 5. I did not know that. Let's see. Justin Langford, you get your newcomers from high school, so should be new competition, which will create a better team. No doubt. Yeah. Bruin Nation asks, what happened to Lady Bree? She disappeared. Haven't seen or heard anything from her even on Twitter. I have no idea, Bruin Nation. I could not tell you. I have not heard from Lady Bree, and I think the last time I heard from Lady Bree, the last time she called in was like early January, maybe middle of January, something like that. So it's been a very, very long time since I've heard from Lady Bree. But it's funny, dude. Like on this show, there are certain people that stay, but there are certain like characters it feels like that come and go. They don't. You know, they're only here for a season. They'll call in for one season, whatever, and then you never hear from them again. Maybe Lady Bree is one of those. I have no idea. But yeah, it's, you know, wish Lady Bree nothing but the best. Hope she's doing well. But yeah, I have not heard from Lady Bree at all. So I have not heard from Lady Bree at all. Anyways, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377 here on this Wednesday, April the 12th. Appreciate you all tuning in. Guys, again, thank you all so much for the continued love and support. Let's see. Again, podcast will drop tomorrow. Podcast will drop tomorrow. Full breakdown of this weekend series and the Garnet and Black spring game. The Garnet and Black spring game. Looking forward to that as well. Justin Langford, appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, we're going to have a great time. I always have a great time down in the Low Country. So it's always a blast, and love hanging with the Low Country Gamecocks, all the coastal Gamecocks as well, going all the way up from Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Hilton Head, Savannah, all that good stuff. So it's always a good time. But anyways, guys, we're out here in Hilton Head. Appreciate y'all. Looking forward to the spring game on Saturday. We'll do the live stream watch along, of course, 7 o'clock until it's over. We won't take any questions, comments, or calls after the game, but that will be something we do during football season. When we do those live stream watch alongs, that'll be something we do during football season. We'll do a post-game call-in show to where the live stream watch along will take place. We will probably, I don't know if we'll end that or if we'll probably just roll straight into the call-in show. I don't know. Maybe ending it would be smart, though, like having like a 10-minute break, getting set up, and then taking your questions, comments, calls. I think that will go crazy. I think people will be all about that, wanting to get their thoughts out there. I mean, it could be a very dangerous thing to a degree. It could be a very dangerous thing, but depending on what the results of the games are. But it'll be a lot of fun. That is for sure. It'll be a lot of fun. That's for sure. So, again, it's always fun to evolve and grow in business and all that good stuff. And I appreciate you guys being there along the way. So, appreciate you guys being there along the way. Guys, unless we've got anything else, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up early. I think we've pretty much touched on everything. I know we normally go to noon, but got some stuff I want to take care of. So this will drop 3 o'clock, guys. I've been dropping it normal, the consistent schedule, 3 o'clock on the Spurs Up Show podcast feed. The Spurs Up Show podcast feed is where you can find it, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. If you miss anything, it's available via podcast version. What else? Of course, guys, the spring tour continues tomorrow night in Somerville, Carolina Ale House, Somerville 191 Sigma Drive. All the details on social media. We'll get rolling at 6 o'clock. We'll have the Beamer Ball to the Moon merchandise, Beamer Ball towels. We'll have koozies, all that good stuff. And, of course, we will do a Q&A. I got to say, I didn't love the tour stop on the same night as a game. But, you know, we learn as we go. You learn what you prefer. So I'm glad we did it. But tomorrow night will be much more like a traditional tour stop where we'll take your questions. We'll do a little bit of the Q&A, and we'll hang out, conversate, have a great time. It'll be a great opportunity for Gamecocks just to hang out, conversate, and enjoy each other's company. So outside of that, guys, again, podcast will drop tomorrow. Appreciate you all, the love, the support. Again, got some things we're going to go take care of right now. But, guys, in the meantime, stay tuned to the content. Stay locked in, content bleeding out the eyeballs. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you all. No TDC tomorrow, so tune in to the podcast. We'll have clips tomorrow, but we will talk to you right here on these airwaves on Friday.